welcome to Finance Conversations. This is Emerging Life and Money Show, and I am excited to be here with you today. As noted last week, in observance of Black History Month, I am celebrating the incredible financial achievements of Black professional women. Okay, and to honor their contribution, I decided to have a 4-part series that embraces financial wellness and encourages African American progress. So thank you for joining me on this daring mission to unearth the empowering strength found in Black women across business and finance. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I will ask you to do so today. Okay? So welcome to the Emerging Life and Money Show. Today, I will uncover the complex issues of father's absence in Black communities and the effect it has on Black women's financial wellness. I will say that it is a pivotal yet quite often overlooked discussion. Okay, historically, Black men were twice as likely as any other racial group to be absent from household, and this trend continues today with nearly 74% of Black kids under the age of 18 being raised by single mothers, according to new data from the Census Bureau, and that's in the US. So before I get into it, let me introduce myself. I am Mary Jo Caesar. I am a financial wellness strategist. Today, I am your host, and I'm also a money mentor. So thank you for joining in today. I come to you live every week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. to share tips, tools, techniques, inspiration, motivation, and to give you valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness and live your life with means and meaning. So grab a beverage of your choice, as today's show will be a little longer than 30 minutes. And if you want, you could also grab a pen and a notebook because you may want to take some notes and later on share them and discuss them with your family members, your coworkers, your neighbors, your friends, and more. And if you are joining me on iTunes or Spotify or any of those podcast platform, I welcome you. I am so glad that you joined in today. So let's get started. The impact of the absence of fathers on Black women financial wellness is an important and timely topic that deserves attention and discussion, as the absence of fathers in the lives of Black women can have far-reaching consequences, not only for their emotional and psychological well-being, but also for their financial stability and their financial security. So in today's episode, I will focus on 3 points, okay? The impact of the absence of fathers, and I will look at the challenges that this impact has on these women. And I will also look at the strategies for overcoming those challenges faced by Black women. So let's give the show some context. It is crucial to discuss the impact of the absence of fathers on Black women financial wellness for several reasons. Firstly, the issue of fatherlessness in Black communities is a widespread problem and has been a perpetual one for generations and has serious consequences for Black women and their families. Secondly, the financial stability and security of Black women is a critical issue that has a direct impact on their ability to achieve financial wellness and financial independence. So by shining a light on this issue of father absence and its impact on these women, we can actually bring attention to the challenges that Black women face, and we can work toward finding solutions to help them overcome these challenges. Furthermore, By promoting financial literacy and empowerment for Black women, we can also help to create a more equitable and just society for all. The fact is that the absence of fathers in Black women's lives has a significant effect on their financial wellness. With the lack of role models to learn from and rely upon, many Black women are left to figure out how to manage their money on their own, which can be overwhelming and quite daunting. And furthermore, even if these women do have a father present, but he fails to help them with advice or support when it comes to managing finances, it can still lead to feelings of isolation, especially since money is not always discussed openly within those demographics. Hence, leaving future generations vulnerable in continuing such cycles from one another. So, the emotional impact of having absent fathers can also often result in poor spending habits for Black women. For example, investing too much in material possession as a form of coping mechanism. This type of behavior not only establishes an unhealthy mindset regarding money, but can also result in long term debt if not checked regularly, which further adds strains onto already tight budgeting plans. Consequently, in order for Black women to be financially successful, they must first recognize why certain behavior exists and how they can go about changing it. So this requires discussion, right, around the effect that the absent father has within the community. And once this conversation take place, individual will be better equipped, I should say, with minimizing associated risk linked with poor decisions and building resiliency against outside forces influencing their money management style. At the end of the day, Black women lacking male parental figures are more prone to negative financial consequences. Okay, that's a fact. Therefore, having an open dialogue around the issues is critical as it gives us better insight into how to best overcome our struggles while establishing healthier approaches toward achieving sustainable wealth. In so doing, Black women will no longer become victims of their circumstances as they will be victors instead. So let's explore the first point of today's show, the impact of the absence of fathers on these women, financial well-being. I will start with the historical context. The absence of fathers in Black community has a long-standing historical context and root causes. During slavery, right, Black families were not only separated, but also denied basic human rights like marriage. So as a result, many Black people had difficulty establishing a sense of familial stability and tradition. The struggle for advancement continued well into the Reconstruction and Jim Crow eras, with most working class parents being unable to provide for their children due to low wages caused by systemic racism. This disestablishing of nuclear families was further compounding by mass incarceration during the war on drugs era, where entire generation has been caught up in the criminal justice system, which limits one's financial opportunity upon release and contributes toward feelings of abandonment from family members left behind. Moreover, there is an epidemic of absenteeism within many Black households today due to various issues such as mental illness and substance abuse, and without proper treatment. This situation often remains unresolved, leading to severe bouts of depressions or worse among men who are unable to find employment due to lack of education or criminal records, okay, leaving them with few job prospects. Consequently, these issues translate into fewer role models for younger generations who may be struggling to make sense of such experiences. They affect their self esteem, resulting in further instability within the Black communities, right? So it is therefore paramount that we work towards developing solutions so that future generations may benefit from an improved quality of life and start reversing this concerning trend before it worsens any further. So let's take a look at some statistic and some data surrounding this fatherlessness in Black families. Unfortunately, they paint a troubling and concerning picture. According to current Census Bureau reports, the percentage of fatherless households within the Black community is more than double that of other ethnic groups, with, as I said earlier, 74% of Black children growing up with only one parent, compared to 33% from other racial backgrounds. In addition, approximately 50% of Black women aged 18 to 64 now have never been married, an alarming increase from 34% in 2000. And although this does not necessarily indicate the presence or absence of fathers, it does reflect current trends of fatherhood within the Black community, which can lower economic stability within households due to a lack of financial support or guidance. Furthermore, recent research has also shown that Black are more likely to experience poverty when living in fatherless homes, with 56.3% being affected, while only 82% among Caucasian populations having similar experiences. And this is according to the 2016 census data. So this further indicates how crucial it is for Black women to be able to rely on male figures, as they are disproportionately impacted by increased financial struggles associated with raising children without fathers being present. So, like it or not, the data suggests that absenteeism of fathers amongst Black households is far greater than any other group, not only increasing the likelihood for many Black women who are already at a disadvantage financially, but also placing future generations at greater risks when it comes to managing money and developing healthy habits regarding wealth accumulations. Clearly, this is an issue that must be addressed effectively with solutions tailored towards improving our collective living condition before we get too far behind societies competing against us economically. So, what effects does the absence of father have on Black women financial stability? Well, the effects of father's absence on Black women financial stability often extend far beyond the immediate family. Okay, according to various reports and statistics, Black households are more likely to suffer from poverty than any other racial group. And much of this is attributed to the lack of male role models who can provide monetary support and guidance when it comes to managing finances. For many single mothers, caring for children without adequate funds can be quite challenging, leading to increased stress and lower job performance due to lack of sleep or lack of childcare services, which translate into limited career opportunities or job promotions, which in turn very often results in decreased earning potential for decades or even generations. And what's worse is that despite increased effort toward gender equality, scenarios involving father's absence still have greater impacts on women than men. with single fathers usually being able to remain employed at higher wages compared to single mothers, according to a CNN Money research from 2010. So such disparities continue because men are generally viewed as more reliable than women in providing financial security, while the majority of working class mothers within Black communities may be forced into lower paying jobs due to their lack of experience or education. So this reality places an additional, I would say, strain on already weak households. At the end of the day, the reality is that father's absence has become all too common among Black families, and its effects are alarming. Not only it contributes to the growing poverty gap, but it also takes a mental and emotional toll on women, leaving them struggling with inadequate resources needed to raise healthy, happy children who may one day struggle with similar financial obstacles themselves, unless immediate action is taken towards creating better conditions for success for succeeding generation. This leads me to the second point of today's show, the financial challenges faced by these Black women and their impact on their financial well-being. I will start by saying that Black women are often hindered by a unique set of financial obstacles that can prevent them from achieving the independence and well-being they well deserve, whether it be through wage gaps, employment biases, or single mothers facing their own specific struggle, right? These challenges frequently make life difficult for many Black women who simply wish to provide security and stability for themselves and those around them. It is not a secret that the wage gap between Black women and white men is a long-standing injustice that continues to have an insidious effect on their economic standing. So, despite attaining higher level of education, right? Despite making remarkable inroads into the workforce, and despite consistently providing, or I should say, proving themselves capable of reaching incredible heights, Black women are still paid 82 cents for every dollar earned by white males during, I would say, due to systemic racism. This unjust disparity not only prevents them from achieving financial security, but also rob families around the country who need it most. And I'm talking about access to basic necessity like food, shelter, or healthcare, right? All leading toward further inequality and poverty rates within the Black communities. Also, despite surpassing their male and white counterparts in educational achievement now, Black women continue to face significant prejudice when it comes to access to employment opportunity, right? Too often, they are overlooked for hire or promotion, no matter how qualified they may be, leading them down a path of suppressed earning potential and I would say stifled career growth that can prevent long-term financial success. Trust me on this. Single motherhood can be a financially taxing journey. Okay? Black women face additional hardship that are not only challenging, but also far-reaching. Okay? From lack of access to well-paying jobs and resources for saving or investment to an increased risk of poverty, these difficulties hinder single mothers' ability to provide financial security and growth to their families as they work toward creating brighter futures for themselves and their children. However, it must be said that despite the systemic barriers of employment discrimination despite the wage gaps and the single motherhood that hinder financial success for Black women, there is hope. Because by supporting resources to this marginalized community, we can create pathways toward economic freedom, thus releasing them from generation of inequitable opportunities and promoting true security in their finances. So let's look at the wage gap and employment discrimination faced by Black women. As mentioned in, I believe, last week's episode, despite immense progress made, Black women still face an uphill battle for financial stability. And while this is undeniably unjust, it is not insurmountable, because together we can work toward closing the gap so all our sisters have equal opportunities to thrive financially. Black women are all too often denied the same opportunities to achieve financial security and independence as their male and white counterparts. From significantly lower wages to fewer higher ability chances and even less promotion potential, these inequities can have a devastating impact on not only an individual finances, but also on her family. Therefore, it is vital for us to address this systemic injustice in order for everyone, regardless of gender or race, to be able to access equal employment paths leading towards stability and success. So to empower Black women to take charge of their own financial futures, we must act together to demolish the systemic inequities that deny them equitable wage and job opportunities. It must be noted that education can widen path toward knowledge and skill acquisition, and community support fosters connections, solidarity, resilience, and all necessary allies in achieving success. So by promoting change through policy action toward fairness in the workplace, by breaking cycles of poverty, and by ushering economic well-being into our collective future, okay, we can do that. So now let's talk about the challenges faced by Black women who are single mothers. As a single mother, once upon a time, financial independence can be a struggle, with the added burden of raising children solo and limited access to resources. It is no wonder that Black women often face unique obstacles when striving for financial wellness. All right. So without two incomes coming into their households, not to mention less availability in jobs with viable wages, affording basic living expenses or setting aside funds for retirement can become an incredibly difficult task. So therefore, it is essential that these mothers are provided with needed support so that they may begin taking part in greater opportunities available towards securing success now and later down the road. As a matter of fact, working hard is not always enough. For single mothers, it often feels like an uphill battle where they are stuck in a never-ending cycle of poverty and financial instability. So single mothers face incredible financial hurdles, often struggling to achieve stability with limited resources. And without access to things like savings and investment as a safety net, single moms are especially vulnerable in times of crisis. From job loss or medical emergencies, any disruption can mean further instability for them and their families. For all I know, raising children on your own can be financially daunting and often puts the burden of providing for a family completely on one parent. Also, single mothers may grapple with increased financial stress, forcing them to choose between their own well-being or that of their children in order to make ends meet. Unfortunately, this difficult situation hinders many single moms from achieving true long-term stability and security as they attempt to secure futures not only for themselves, but also for those placed in their care. So, in order to reach financial wellness, however, Black mothers who parent solo must must overcome all those barriers. Okay, these impediments are largely systemic and range from poverty to limited access to resources, all compounded by the difficult process of raising children alone. But with supportive services and empowerment via educational or professional opportunities, single moms could find stability in their finances while providing for themselves and their family, leading ultimately to independence that may previously have felt out of reach. So now I'm going to talk about the true impact of father's absence on Black women financial wellness. Okay. Let's start with the role fathers play in financial stability and security. Fathers are powerful forces for providing both financial and emotional stability for their families, from rent payment, utility bills, or just the extra income that can help household achieve greater independence. Fathers offer a secure foundation on which Black women and their families can grow. And with an environment of safety and support in tow, those same families have access to reduced stress levels, leading to more positive outcomes when it comes to finances. Conversely, in the absence of a father figure, Black women and their families can find themselves facing serious financial hardship. Because without access to an additional income or support from someone else's pocketbook, it becomes harder for these mothers to provide the necessary stability for their loved ones and plan ahead with any degree of security. So this cycle of poverty results in desperate situations where even basic needs have trouble being met without help that is simply not available. The unfortunate truth is that when Black women lack the presence of a father figure in their lives, it can create an insidious cycle of poverty. It is a fact that without this vital support system, stress and anxiety level increase significantly. And not only does this hamper one's mental health, but it also affects financial stability by limiting career opportunities for these incredibly resilient women, and ultimately leads to further emotional distress as well as economic precarity. In the end, the presence of fathers within Black families is a matter that should be taken seriously. Without them, our sisters and mothers are left to fend for themselves in an unfortunately unequal world, deprived of access to resources needed to ensure financial stability and security. So, in order to provide these vulnerable women with sustenance and strength amidst their plight against systemic barriers, we must take action now by providing support services along with avenues for fostering fathers' involvement and engagement so that they may reap both emotional peace and economic freedom while achieving true fiscal independence. So let's look at how the absence of fathers impact Black women's journey to financial wellness. Well, father's absence in Black household can have a devastating effect on financial stability, because without the support of an active father there, an active father figure, Many women are burdened with single-handedly providing for and sustaining their families while bearing increased level of stress due to restricted access to necessary resources. This situation surely paves the way to an uncertain economic future that is often impossible to overcome without external help or intervention. And the daunting burden of financial insecurity can weigh heavily on Black women, from rising cost of living to an inability to save for the future. The lack of a second income may trap them in a vicious cycle that hinders their economic progress and keep them from providing adequate resources for themselves and their kids. Also, it is a fact that parental absence carries many consequences, especially when it comes to finances. For Black women in particular, often saddled with the additional responsibilities of single motherhood or other financial obligation, even greater strain can be felt on their wallets and well-being alike. So this might feel like a never-ending roller coaster ride as emotional distress brought about by economic strife only exacerbate an already tenuous situation for these families. Father's abandonment can have a detrimental ripple effect on Black women and their families as well. Not only does the emotional stress of their absence adversely affect them, but it also creates additional financial strain that many cannot bear alone. Okay, this unfortunate cycle often leads to poverty, as I mentioned before, as further economic insecurity increases levels of emotional distress while creating an insurmountable loop for those caught within its grip. And with father's absence impacting the financial well-being of Black women, we have an opportunity to uplift and empower this marginalized community and make a difference by tooling them with resources that help them achieve independence while also promoting engagement between fathers in those homes without one present. Additionally, it is critical that society recognizes the systemic barriers such as racism or economic disadvantage leading many Black families down the path of separation. In doing so, we will be able to provide ample support for this individual across all aspects of life. And by recognizing and supporting the unique financial challenges of Black women who are lacking a father figure, we can offer them pathways to economic stability. Also, inviting more resources into their lives could help break generational cycles that leave so many in this marginalized group living with ongoing monetary insecurity. Now, how are Black women forced to compensate for the absence of fathers in their lives? After all, Black women are often left to shoulder the burden of providing for their families in light of absent fathers. So it is a hefty responsibility, yet many bravely and selflessly take it on, powering through obstacles with determined resilience to ensure financial stability for themselves and for their kids. And in order to make up for the absence of a father figure, Black women face immense pressure and take on additional responsibilities. So this often could mean juggling extra jobs or working overtime just to sustain their families financially. Unfortunately, this added workload can lead to stress and disruption in family life due to having no partner's support system present. It is therefore clear that supporting these communities is more important than ever so that they may receive the blessings bestowed upon them without compromising moments with each other when it matters most, and that is at home. Okay, so to make up For the void left by absent fathers, Black women often turn to their family and friends for assistance. However, this support system can create a fragile balance where loans may be hard to repay without help from another source, thus restricting financial freedom and security within households headed solely by single mothers. Consequently, it is paramount that these families be given some option to put them on the path to financial independence. I will add that while there are government and community resources such as food banks and shelters available to Black women in need of help, particularly during tough time, they may not always provide the necessary level of support for long-term financial autonomy. Therefore, leaving many feeling financially burdened and unsupported. So between loans with ever increasing interest rates and raising their families without assistance from partners, it is essential that we ensure that there are pathways available to economic stability for all members of our society. And as far as I can see, the effect of fatherlessness on Black women and their families are far-reaching and challenging. And despite the benefits Black women receive from compensations, such as loan repayment and work-life balance, they still face financial strain due to fathers' absences in their communities. So to promote ongoing stability and security for this underrepresented group, we must support them on their journey toward independence, which I would say will include providing resources, encouraging fathers' involvement, and tackling systemic issues that lead to absent dads. So now let's look at the third and final point for today's show: the strategies for overcoming the financial challenges faced by Black women. To ensure that Black women can break through the economic obstacles they face, it is important to provide them with the necessary resources and guidance. I will say that investing in financial education programs is a crucial strategy for helping these powerful individuals gain stability and true independence. Simply because the solution lies in providing them with the necessary knowledge so their accomplishments are rooted firmly in skills rather than luck alone. So, with workshops and seminars and other educational material to choose from, Black women should have access to this valuable information because it is a fact that financial education and empowerment programs provide Black women with the capacity to unlock a world of financial opportunity. From personalized advice from experts, from resources for accessing products and services such as credit card or loan, and supporting building up their credit score. These initiatives create pathways toward wealth building. Furthermore, this same platform fosters an uplifting community space where members can reach out for guidance while sharing experiences on how they are overcoming common financial challenges together. I will also note that financial education and empowerment programs offer a pathway to mitigating systemic inequality. So by equipping Black women with the tools needed for financial stability, such as negotiation skills and resources for better paying jobs and support systems that promote career advancements, Black women will be empowered to break through glass ceilings of wage discrimination in order to lead more secure lives. Fortunately, despite the systemic barriers that hinder financial security for Black women, there is hope, because financial education and empowerment programs can put resources in their hands, as well as provide support to gain knowledge so they have a better chance at achieving economic independence. I will add that these initiatives are key to breaking poverty cycles, not just for this group, but also by helping to level the playing field of wealth disparities caused by racism and inequality over centuries. Now, let's look at how community support and access to resources play a crucial role in promoting financial stability for Black women. I will say that through a powerful combination of financial education, community backing, and resources at their fingertips, Black women have the tools necessary to gain financial strength and freedom. Okay, so by leveraging this element, as well as providing additional support for fatherless homes, we can ensure that everyone is empowered with the means to achieve stable finances. Additionally, Black women and their families can benefit from a range of community support designed to meet their specific needs. Childcare services allow them the peace of mind to pursue work opportunities without having child-related worries, while quality healthcare helps keep medical expenses manageable. Moreover, housing assistance ensures that safe, stable homes are available at an affordable cost, which ultimately leads to improved overall financial stability for these individuals. Also, Black women can achieve financial success with the help of supporting communities that provide mentorship and networking opportunity, because by connecting them to role models and seasoned professionals, they are armed with knowledge on how to sharpen their skill set, increase earning potential, and understand their finances better, all culminating in a more enhanced money management journey. And with access to the inspiring financial services like of credit union and community banks, and more, Black women have been empowered with a new way for achieving their long-term dreams, from building credit scores to, as I mentioned, accessing loans for education goals, or even launching small businesses, as well as saving and investment opportunities, right? These resources are devoted solely to helping provide stability and independence in Black women's lives. And with the right resources, they can actually break free of financial insecurity and poverty. Therefore, rather than being further marginalized by society, facing single-handed battles against economic challenges, they should have a community that offers support and tools for developing financial stability. And by recognizing the Black women's plight, the systemic effect of fathers' absence can be addressed through collective actions. Okay, now I would like to talk about the significance of having mentors and role model in fostering financial wellness for Black women. Well, having access to strong mentors can help open a world of opportunity for Black women striving toward financial success. Role models offer invaluable insight and support and advice, which can guide them on their journey to becoming financially independent. From, I would say, learning how to handle money wisely, understanding the language of finance, or navigating challenges in career management, experienced professionals can provide an essential platform for assisting these powerful women to reach their goals efficiently. I promise you, Black women can draw on role models for both motivation and aspiration, thus enabling them to dream bigger dreams of financial success. And these inspiring examples create a heightened sense of possibility when pursuing stability and independence, giving every woman the courage to believe that she too can thrive financially with tenacity and determination. So it is very important for Black women striving for financial stability and independence to find a nurturing circle of guidance, support, and camaraderie in their mentor relationships. That being the case, forming an empowering community invite meaningful connections between fellow ambitious individuals as they share experiences to reach success. And with role models, providing knowledge from lived experience alongside encouragement, these networks effortlessly encourage the pursuit of economic freedom with solidarity. As a consequence, with mentorship and guidance, I'm sure Black women have the potential to break through systemic barriers of financial insecurity and offering crucial resources like career advice, as I mentioned before, networking, help, or salary negotiation skills can empower this community to gain access to better paying jobs and professional opportunities. All vital steps toward much needed economic stability. So I will end this point by saying that through mentorship and role models, Black women can cultivate the confidence they need to break through financial barriers. And with their guidance and support and a sense of community, they will gain all the skill necessary to become financially independent, empowering them with a possibility that once felt out of reach due to a father's absence. Okay? So let's wrap it up. I've been talking now for, oh my God, 47 minutes. So today I talked about the impact of the absence of fathers on Black women, financial wellness, well-being. And I focus on 3 points. I look at the impact themselves, I look at the financial challenges, and I looked at I also explore the strategies for overcoming the financial challenges faced by these women. I will say that it is a thought-provoking topic as I put the spotlight on how Black women are disproportionately affected by a father's absence and the resulting financial difficulties. I went back in time to explore why so many Black families lack a dad, and I suggested a workable solution that empower these ladies financially. And as I see it, despite the unique challenges they face, Black women have a wide range of resources available to them to become financially independent and secure. They can educate themselves on their finances. They can tap into community support, network for guidance. They can surround themselves with inspiring role models, such as powerful female leaders in business. And by taking control of their financial decisions today will enable them to break away from father absence consequences tomorrow. So my last thought for today's show: father's absence is a tragic reality for many Black women, leaving painful gaps that diminishes their financial wellness. The reality is that we can all play our part in combating this issue by creating awareness of it and advocating strongly for necessary change. Additionally, we should strive to support the growth of these remarkable individuals through empowering programs or serving as mentor, because together we have the power to help secure lasting economic stability and security. So now it is time for you, yes, you. So let us, let us get together and put together some actionable step towards supporting our Black sisters in their pursuit of reaching financial wellness and empowerment. And as you know, various opportunities exist, like joining support groups, attending workshops, collaborating with your community, or becoming a mentor, and many more as well. So let us be a part of the solution. Okay, so this is all I have for you today. 51 minutes later, and as you know, I like to end my show with inspiring words. And here they are. Financial wellness is not just about having enough money. It's about having a positive mindset and the emotional resilience to overcome financial challenges. So for Black women, this means taking control of their finances, overcoming systemic barriers, and building a foundation of support and resources. So this brings us to the end of today's Merging Life and Money episode. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and I would encourage you to watch the replay. I know it's a little long, but I think it's worth listening to, and make sure to share it with others. So for more information about how to achieve financial wellness from the inside out and live a purposeful life with the money you have, join me next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for the last part of my series, my special series for Black History Month. So thank you for being here on the Merging Life and Money Show. I am your host, Marie-Jo Cesar. I will be back again next week. Until then, continue merging life and money. Bye for now.